What was the biggest day for you, bro? Like, how much did you make in a day that really allowed you to see what's possible with this?
In a day, $1,000 has been my highest so far. That actually happened two times in a month and then happened once again in September as well, alhamdulillah. And I made that a baseline for myself, If I can do that in one day, in 2 days, in 3 days, why can't I earn that every single day?
From transitioning, what was like the top performing month that you've had in high ticket sales?
In my first month, I actually collected around 72K in cash, and that was about 7.2K in commissions.
Oh,
And that
man.
was in my first month. And when I came across, this whole program at first, I'm not gonna lie, I skipped past it a lot. I seen the ad and I said, it's just another one of those things. I'm gonna skip past it. But then someone from the community reached out to me, and that's when I got more interested, and it aligned with my financial goals and my future goals, being able to do Hijra and having work to do over there, which was more important than my present business goals. When I joined, the first thing that happened was you actually hosted a student case study call with Fahim, and I was on that call and I was listening to everything, soaking it in, and that's when I started developing it more and taking it more seriously and putting the work in from there. So that was one of the main drivers for me, is that I wanted that same freedom and financial flexibility for my family, and not to be having worried about when can I get the formula, when can I do this, when can I do that, but having control over that, which was more important to me. Having 7 calls a week, two in the Islamic side and five in the side of coaching and mindset and everything, allowed me to develop a lot more, because the community aspect of that is you always have someone to ask a question. You don't get stuck. The only way you get yourself stuck is if you don't take your feet out of the mud.
Assalamu alaikum. We are back with another case study. We're going to hear Hassan's story before Rizq Rise, during Rizq Rise, and where he is today, and what he's planning to do in the future, inshallah. So, guys, Hassan, welcome to the call, man.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Nice to be introduced to you again, Marwan. Nice to see you again. Alhamdulillah, it's been a minute.
It's been a minute, bro. How's life been for you, bro?
Alhamdulillah, it's been blessed so far. I can't complain.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Good stuff, man. I mean, bro, let's kind of get into before Rizq Rise, before high ticket sales. Who was Hassan? What was his lifestyle like? What did he do for work?
He was working 70 to 80 hours a week, earning as much as he could to take care of his wife and upcoming child. I was working in machinery, quality control. Was working in retail. So I was working two jobs at the time, about 13 to 15 hours, outside of the home, and, only a couple of hours at home, either sleeping or salah.
I mean, bro, that must have caused an effect in regards to your relationships at home, your mental stability, working that many hours under that pressure with machinery and stuff, right?
In terms of, the work, the work, I loved it because it was high driven environment. I was happy with it. I was always someone who was target performance focused, and I did my best to do that there. So the work didn't affect me. However, the amount of hours I was doing and having that taken away from, when you're newly married in the first years of your marriage, to be able to be working that much and not spending as much time with your family, that was an effect. That wasn't good.
And at the time you started as a Rise, I believe you just had the newborn, you had the son, right?
Yeah, yeah. My son was about just just 2 months old when I started.
Allahumma barik. Because I remember, bro, when you came into as a Rise, you were always like either working or with the baby or helping out the family, and it was just back to back, really, every single day, right? And I mean, first of all, bro, I want to kind of get into like, why did you even get into high ticket sales? Why did you pick high ticket sales as an industry that you want to build a career in?
Yeah, good question. So before I got into, high ticket sales, I was looking into different business opportunities. So I was looking into drop shipping, starting my own company with some other brothers, and looking into more physical businesses, box trucking, detailing. All of those require investment, of course, which I didn't mind. But the main priority was for me flexibility, to be able to accommodate to my family and Salah. And when I came across this whole program at first, I'm not gonna lie, I skipped past it a lot. I seen the ad and I said, it's just another one of those things. I'm gonna skip past it. But then someone from the community reached out to me, and that's when I got more interested, and it aligned with my financial goals and my future goals, being able to do Hijra and having work to do over there, which was more important than my present business goals.
100%. From your jobs, bro, I mean, you're working two jobs, I believe, at the time, correct?
Yeah,
You're working two jobs and you were still learning Rizq Rise and you were just a new father, Allahumma
yeah,
barik, married. You had all the commitments and the responsibilities there
yeah,
and you still managed to pull it off. You know, a lot of guys will probably throw the objection to themselves and say, I don't have the time, or I just got married, or I just had a baby, or I have, a job, two jobs, whatever maybe. You had all of that going on, but
yeah.
still you continuously developed yourself, grew inside the industry. And Allahumma barik, we're going to talk about your success in a moment. But I want to ask you, like, what pushed you? What kept you going? What made you wake up every single day and say, I'm going to give it 100% today, and got you to a level where you were able to really establish yourself financially?
First of all, it was seeing the wins in the community. You know, when I joined, I was as soon as I joined, I seen wins from Brother Omar, I seen wins from Brother Fahim, and those pushed me to want to do more. You know, and I said, what are these guys doing? They're putting the work in. And when I joined, the first thing that happened was you actually hosted a student case study call with Fahim, and I was on that call and I was listening to everything and soaking it in. And that's when I, started developing it more and taking it more seriously and putting the work in from there. So that was one of the main drivers for me is that I wanted that same freedom and financial flexibility for my family and not to be having worried about when can I get the formula, when can I do this, when can I do that, but having control over that, which was more important to me.
100%, man. I think this is why, a lot of the brothers that are seeing wins from other guys, they need to understand that that's just an average guy, just like you. He went through
Yeah,
the same platform, he had the same coaches, he done the same stuff. If he can do it, you can do it. That's a simple conclusion.
exactly. Yeah.
I mean, bro, what made you transition though? Because you going from, again, the responsibilities that you have, two jobs, and then you went entirely, to high ticket sales and you made a full transition. What was the emotion behind that to make that decision?
To quit my jobs and go into high ticket sales is what you mean, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, the transition was from that was to want to be home with my wife, to want to be home with my son, to be able to spend more time with them, to be able to focus on my deen a lot more, to be able to take a risk as well and do that because as you know, working two jobs, I'm making around 5K a month, right? And in my head, I just said, look, that money is decreed for me, regardless. That money is decreed, whether I earn it through sales, whether I earn it through that is decreed for me. So I just need to take a step in the direction to do that. And everything else that's attached to high ticket sales was more aligned with what I was looking for. That's what made me take the step.
So you were making about 5K from your two jobs.
Yeah,
You're doing 70, 80 hours a week.
yeah,
I mean, that must have been draining, bro, because when people think about that, it's like 5K a month sounds reasonable for someone that does two jobs. It sounds very realistic that you can
mm.
make that kind of money. But then you enter the high ticket sales space and you start closing deals and you start making, money yourself. So from transitioning, what was like the top performing month that you've had in high ticket sales?
In my first month, I actually collected around 72K in cash, and that was about 7.2K in commissions.
Oh,
And that
man.
was in my first month.
How did that
Of
feel?
course, yeah, it felt good, alhamdulillah. My manager asked me the same thing, how does it feel? And I said, it feels wonderful, alhamdulillah. Because another thing I was looking for was control over my performance where, working in full time, we all know that when you work full time, you're not paid based on how well you perform. You might get a bonus once every year. The whole company gets a bonus. They don't take that away from anyone.
Hmm.
But you're not judged based on your performance. You're paid just the same as everyone else.
Yeah.
And for someone was going into full time and doing 150% efficiency every single day and getting the same as everyone, I wanted more control over the reward that
The
would come.
output. The output. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
And fair to do so, bro. And this is why, when we speak about the high ticket sales space, we tell people like, bro, this is extremely uncapped. Like you are based on your performance. If you come in here
That's true.
and just dominate and crush it, you will make a lot of money. And the beautiful thing about high ticket sales as well, bro, that's extremely different from a normal job is, yeah, and you can have two weak weeks in like low weeks inside high ticket sales where there's not great lead flow or you're not getting the proper qualified prospects that you're looking for. Then you can have 2 weeks that can like earn you a 5x what a job would actually pay you. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You have a 20K 2 weeks. In fact, Ayub, as you know as well, he had 18K in 2 weeks. And that's
yeah,
somebody's yearly salary part-time, bro. That you can
yeah.
2 weeks based on your performance, which is what you mentioned, All right, cool. So what was the biggest day for you, bro? Like how much did you make in a day that really allowed you to see what's possible with this?
In a day, $1,000 has been my highest so far, and just over, 1.04, K.
So
So it's still
$10,000
sweet, even
in
at
a day.
$40. Even
Yeah.
at $40 is sweet. And yeah, that was the biggest day for me. And that actually happened two times in a month, and then happened once again in September as well, alhamdulillah. And I made that a baseline for myself, if I can do that in 1 day, in 2 days, in 3 days, why can't I earn that every single day?
Yeah, 100%. Or at least 2 weeks in the month, man. At least 2 weeks in the month, you can hit that 1K day, allowing you to hit the 15 to 20K mark a month as well. All right, bro. I mean, look, I want to go back to like your journey of Rizq Rise because when you first started, I remember you just had the baby, the two jobs. You were not showing up to calls. You were not aligned. You were all over the place. I remember we had a conversation where
Yeah,
I gave you a call and I said, Hassan, what's going on, bro? And you said to me, bro, I genuinely don't have to manage this. And we actually had a really deep conversation. It was like 2 a.m. for me.
yeah,
And you let your heart out, man. You told me, look, bro, I don't know what I'm doing sometimes. It's not the best to be away from my family and they need me and this, that, the other. And I'm trying to really focus on my deen and I'm finding it extremely difficult. But after that call, I feel like you switched, you locked in, you had
yeah.
strong drive behind that call. What happened, man? What happened for you to, because I mean, you had the same opportunity when you came in and you had the same opportunity after that call, but there was a huge difference in your accountability, your commitment, how disciplined you were, showing up, doing the work, sharpening your skill. What changed for you?
Yeah, number one, I lost one of my jobs. So the reason I lost the job is because I had to give time more to my son, and I wasn't able to go into certain days. And at that point, when I lost that job, less money. So now it was just break even every single month. There was nothing left over, and it was very hard to keep track of everything. And then at that point, there were times where there was barely any food in the house. And be me, my wife, and my kid. He's fed first. He's always fed first. And then between me and my wife, I said, "You eat. I'm gonna go. I'll find whatever I can to eat, inshallah." So that was the switching point for me. Like it wasn't even about me. Like I'm cool. I'm good. Alhamdulillah. But it was about I don't want that for my wife. I don't want that for my son. I want more for them. I
Tough
want to give
times.
them more, and I'm the man. I'm the Qawam. I'm responsible for all of that. So I took that as a turning step where I need to kick up my gears and really, really make sure that I can bring it home for them. Because if I don't bring it home for them, and 5 years from now, everything goes all right, I have no one to blame but myself.
Tough times create strong men, bro.
Yeah.
And a lot of the successful people that we see around the world, they have to go through a period of tough time. Those who are genuinely skilled in what they do. Habibi,
Mm.
look, how has this affected your deen? Being a part of Rizq Rise, being part of the community, has it affected the deen in any way, shape, way, or form?
Yeah, no, a lot of times, there will be times where I already had this notion in the back of my head about how to be in, your deen and money and how to, make sure you earn money in a halal way. But being in the Islamic community where you have more of that around you, it makes you not focus on your situation as much, but really focus on the outcome of what is to come, inshallah. So, having an ustad in the community and someone to talk to develop me a lot more because I've been talking to him privately about I need help with my sleep and this and that. And there's someone having there for me who can give me the sunnah perspective of everything has helped me to develop. There's been times where I started a job with a company. Now the company had low integrity, wanted me to do things that you shouldn't do. And I was able to reach out to the Ustad. The Ustad said, no, you can't do that. And I said, okay, khalas, I'm not going to do it. And having access in the community to someone like that always helped me to make the right choice for the sake of Allah.
Amazing, bro. Alhamdulillah. May Allah keep you steadfast, keep us all steadfast, inshallah.
I
Bro,
mean,
with Rizq Rise, we are one of the only platforms that provide a level of support that pushes out training every single day. You coming up, learning the skill, developing yourself through the program How have you felt that those 7 trainings a week have impacted you, the coaching session?
Once I switched on, I was at every single call. I never missed a call. I compromised myself so much to be able to attend every call, because I knew that every call was a chance for growth and development and success, inshallah. And that allowed me to develop much quicker. And you see the difference in the students as well. The ones who have been attending every single call, have been turning up, have landed roles much quicker. But the ones who haven't attended the course, they've developed much slower in their skills and their performance and what they can do, inshallah. So having 7 calls a week, two in the Islamic side and 5 in the side of coaching and mindset and everything allowed me to develop a lot more because the community aspect of that is you always have someone to ask a question. You don't get stuck. The only way you get yourself stuck is if you don't take your feet out of the mud.
100%. Bro, there's a concept where people, when they get feedback, they sometimes go a little bit sour, right? When they get
Yeah.
criticism, they go sour. With you, I remember time and time again, you would come onto the coaching session, you'd be like, yo, I want to get certified. I want to get certified. I want to get certified. And subhanAllah, the amount of times that we've given you feedback, you went away, worked on that, came back again and again and again until you actually eventually got certified and you were classed as a certified student with us. But my point with this is, most people, when they get rejection in sales, when they get constructive criticism, when they get feedback loops, they don't digest it well, right?
Mm.
What made you so emotionless with the emotion of the digestion, but instead just going back to, yo, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. What made you do that, man?
Well, when you go to a job, you apply for the job, you have two things. You have experience, and if you don't have experience, then you have the other side of that, which is to show yourself as someone who's going to learn and develop and grow. And the only way you learn and develop is if you get feedback from your own mistakes and feedback from those around you who can help you develop. So, you know, you have to have something to be able to show them. Because my opportunity that I got as a closer, no, I'd never done high ticket closing before. So the person who hired me, may Allah bless him, was entirely reliant on how coachable is this guy? Is he going to learn? Is he going to take my feedback? And if I didn't build that before I got onto the call and I just felt like I don't need that feedback or that hurts, I'm not going to learn that, then I want to be where I am today, alhamdulillah.
Yeah, that's another skill that people need to develop and learn, bro. Coachability, being coachable, being
Yeah.
able to take feedback, work on it, create a plan for it, execute it, right?
Yeah.
Um, Hassan, you mentioned earlier about Hijra, and I think that Hijra was always a dream for you, in the first calls we had, and
Mm.
coming into this Rise, you always tell me, bro, I want to take my family out to the Muslim lands. I want to be in a place where I can be close to a masjid. Is that still a dream, or is that something that could be a reality soon?
Alhamdulillah, it's a reality very soon, inshallah. Should be doing it by the end of, not the end of, yeah, the end of 2025, in most likely in January, because I've spoken to a brother and he said you want to move after the World Cup and everything. So not the World Cup, I believe the African Cup of Nations or something. So yeah, it's more of a reality now. It's not just of a reality because of the money I'm making. Look, I know that over there you don't need a lot of money. You don't need to be making 5 to 10K a month over there to live in Morocco or anything. The m most important thing was having a skill and a career where I can make the amount of money that will keep me sufficient in Morocco or Egypt or wherever I go, inshallah.
Yeah, yeah. SubhanAllah, bro. I mean, a lot of guys, will tell their goals in a sense of I want to make hijrah or I want to make a lot of money, and then but they never have pressure. They never have pressure, and I feel like you being in Rizq Rise put that pressure in place to say, hey, you got to move fast. You can get it done. Here's the skills. Here's the tools. Here's the resources. Go through the process. And now, not even a year later, you're in a position where you're saying, yo, in the next 90 days, I'm actually going to be moving to a Muslim country because that was something that I wanted to do a year ago. But the people that would just watch and, wish, they're pretty much in the same place a year from now. And then that's something
Mm.
to shout out to all the action takers out there, the guys who take action, the guys who put themselves in uncomfortable positions, the guys who put pressure on themselves, they're going to be in a different position a year from now. Habibi, from everything that you've experienced at Rizq Rise, do you genuinely believe that it was worth your money that you've invested?
Of course, I made, more than I invested. So I'm happy, that I got my ROI. But when I look at the financial ROI, that's one thing. But the bigger ROI that I got was the community, the brotherhood, having the opportunity to be coached and mentors more worth way more than what I paid.
Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. I'm glad to hear that, man. I ask Allah to give you tawfiq and to bless you
I
with
mean,
your ventures. For the people watching this, bro, for the brothers who are on the fence, who are thinking, I don't know if I can do high ticket sales. I don't know if it's going to work out for me. I'm under pressure. I've got two jobs. I've got this. I've got that. What would your message be to them, man?
number one, you have to commit. Number two, you have to take a risk in your life at one point. No matter, my situation was bad, man. I told you my situation on our first call. I don't have the money right now. I'm gonna come back to you in a week or two, and then we'll get started, inshallah. And then from there, I just put whatever I had at the time into this, and I was able to use that to develop myself, inshallah. Now, I could have been on the other side where I said I can't put this in right now because this is all I have. But the money is nothing if it's not going to something that's going to grow me, inshallah. And that's what I was looking for, something where I can learn and develop to change myself. And you can never do that in a position of comfort. So you have to make yourself uncomfortable to be able to really take that first step. So if you're watching this and you feel a little bit uncomfortable about moving forward, well, then that's when you should do it the most.
100%. Bro, I actually got a message from the company that hired you, and they were just saying incredible things about you, man. Even though you didn't have experience going into their role, but you had the work ethic, the commitment, and the coachability. They were telling me like Hassan is projected to be hitting multiple six figures in the next 12 months or so. And that is just incredible to hear, man, for someone that's lived a life where, you weren't able to spend time with your family, you were having issues with staying committed with your deen, two jobs, 80 hours a week, to the person that you are today. There's just a massive transformation there, bro. And that hasn't even been a year, subhanAllah. Do you know what I mean? So congrats to you, man. Keep it up, inshallah.
Alhamdulillah.
Continue to bless you and allow you to do good for those around you as well. It's not just about you getting the gain and the value, it's about passing the torch to the next guy, the next person to continue to inspire the ummah that we have out here, man. But that being said, Shabab, for everyone else watching this, you guys have heard from Hassan and his story. If you are genuinely serious about getting into high ticket sales, learning about Rizq Rise, there's going to be a link down below. Go ahead and click that, book a call with the team. Just figure out if this is something that you genuinely want to do or if this is something that doesn't make sense for you. But I genuinely believe that in life, you cannot make decisions based off opinions. You have to make decisions based on qualified information. So until you see what the opportunity is and what it's about, then you can make a qualified decision. So go ahead and book a call with the team, inshallah, and we'll see you guys on the inside. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Barakallahu feek, ya Hazan.
Wa barakallahu fi. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah bless you also.